It's time for one of our mainstay segments in Breakout or Bust. We got three Joshes this time: Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Josh Okogie. Three first-round Joshes, all with immense prospects, immense talent, and have a high ceiling. And I can only see them doing well. But let me know what your thoughts are, McKill. Breakout or Bust? Let's start with Josh Allen in Buffalo.
All right, I think Josh Allen is going to be a breakout. He slipped to the 11th pick. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Seventh.
7th, was it to the Bills? Yes. Bills 7th pick. I think he's going to be a breakout. You know, Cleveland was debating between Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen with that first pick, and I think they made the wrong choice going with Baker Mayfield. Josh Allen in the combine, he looked phenomenal, throwing out 70-yard bombs to wide receivers. And in college, he went to a very small college, but still played well and was able to stand out in front of the competition. I think he's going to become one of the elite quarterbacks in the league later on in his career. But, you know, he's struggling in training camp right now. I've been following a lot of teams in the NFL within the training camp process, and Josh Allen is one of those players that are struggling. But it's different for Josh Allen because for him it's going to take a year or two to go from the college game to the NFL just because he came from such a small college. But once he gets up to that NFL level, he's going to be one of the best QBs in the league.
I have to disagree with you. I think it's going to be a bust. Josh
Really?
Allen, his completion percentage at Wyoming, he's not facing the best competition. His completion percentage was 56% last season. A person who doesn't throw 60% or more in college, his skill's not going to translate well to the NFL. If you're not accurate then, you're not going to be accurate now. It's like a shot in basketball. You can't really fix that. People like Westbrook and John Wall trying to fix their shot. They can't fix it. He's not going to translate well. Sure, he has the best arm. He's the less refined Pat Mahomes. If I were to take somebody that around that same spot in the draft, I would have taken Pat Mahomes. And I think that if the Bills were looking for a future quarterback, they should have been looking for it last year. Pat Mahomes or Deshaun Watson going in their 10 and 13 spot respectively, and they traded up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to take him at 7. I think that was a reach. I think he's going to have a hard time adapting from such a small college to the pros. But we saw Carson Wentz do it. Big guy from plains in the cold, going to be playing in super cold conditions in Buffalo. Just going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
Can I ask you about Patrick Mahomes really quickly before we move on? I want to ask you if you think he's going to be a breakout or bust, because I come from a family where they were born and raised Kansas City, and they're huge Chiefs fans. So we talk about Patrick Mahomes all the time. I honestly think he's going to be a bust. I just want to get your opinion on that.
I think Pat Mahomes is the real deal. He was only getting like one snap in practices last season, but the coaches were taking videos of him and sending it around the league because he was throwing dots and gold. Every time he touched the ball, he has the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. Against Denver, he had that rushing touchdown. He had the passing touchdown. He looked good that game, and they were benching their good players like Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. So he wasn't working with the depth they had. Not even Travis Kelce. He didn't really have options, and still he excelled in that game. So I'm really excited to see how he does with Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Travis Kelce, along with Kareem Hunt, who receives out of the backfield. I think that this team is going to be a real contender.
All right.
Moving on to a fellow rookie in Josh Rosen, that is, taken.
I think it was 10th to the Cardinals.
Well, whatever it was, he was the 4th quarterback taken in the draft, and I think that was a steal for his position. I think he's going to be a breakout. He's taking over for a great player in Carson, who might be a Hall of Famer, arguably with his time at the Bengals and the Cardinals. But coming into a receiving core with an aging Larry Fitzgerald, I just think he's going to do wonders this year. It might be a learning curve like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz had a bad first year. Not bad, but like okay first year, living not living up to the expectations. But I think that Josh Allen will be a star. He didn't have the greatest record at UCLA. He had a lot of coaching changes, but you don't have to win in college to be a good player in the NFL. You look at people like Johnny Manziel, who were great in college. They've done nothing in the pros.
Yeah.
He threw 4 picks in the first half for the Montreal Owlets. I mean, college winning doesn't translate to NFL winning. That's why I think that Josh Allen will do well. It kind of backfires against my argument against Josh. I mean, that's why I think Josh Rosen will do well. It kind of backfires my argument against Josh Allen because he didn't win well at Wyoming. But I just think that Josh Allen's going to do well in the Cardinals. And coming in with a new receiver in Christian Kirk, hometown team, he's going to want to play. He's going to have the urge, the desire. This is his hometown team. He's going to be having great numbers this year. I think that's going to be an exciting rookie connection. Rosen.
People don't realize that Josh Rosen had better college stats than Sam Darnold did. He had 9,340 passing yards, 59 touchdowns, and that's why I think Josh Rosen will be a breakout just because his college stats are precise. They're very outstanding, very underrated, and obviously he's an underrated guy in the draft, slipping to which was the 10th pick. I just found out he was the 10th pick to the Arizona Cardinals, playing with a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, one of the greatest receivers of all time. Fitzgerald's gonna teach him a lot, and I think he could mature because of Fitzgerald.
Moving on to our final Josh. We're going on to Josh Okogie, the Georgia Tech star last season in the ACC, declaring after 2 years in college. His numbers in college are insane. We just yet to see if that translates to the NBA. Breakout or bust, Mikhail?
Josh Okogie, and especially being a guy from Georgia, born and raised in Atlanta, he was obviously a guy that I was watching in college because he went to Georgia Tech, and he put up big numbers, like you said, in 2 seasons, 18.2 points per game in his first season, and then 16.9 in his second season. But he's gonna be mixed it up. 16.1 in his first season, 18.2 in his second season. But I think he's gonna be a bust just because of the team he is with. And I know you're a Georgia Tech guy, and I know you're gonna disagree with me, but I need you to hear me out. Jimmy Butler is gonna leave Minnesota. He's gonna get a chance, but he's not gonna be able to play to his full potential under a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, who will also bring in other guys to Minnesota. And he's also playing with guys like Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, who are core assets to a team. And I think once Josh Okogie is finally a starter on the Minnesota Timberwolves, they'll be in a rebuild mode like the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic. And I don't think he's going to be a very, very valuable asset to any NBA team just because of where he was drafted.
I have to disagree with you because I'm a Georgia Tech fan, huge fan. Saw around 10 games this year at the McCamish Pavilion and at the ACC tournament in New York. I have to say, I've never seen a player at Georgia Tech as good as him since Marcus Georges-Hunt, and he is better than Marcus Georges-Hunt. He is 4 times better than Marcus Georges-Hunt. Marcus Georges-Hunt was watching. He was at Georgia Tech to watch Josh Okogie. I was at that game. I was also, and Chris Bosh was there. Everyone's excited to see how this guy does. The only 2 players that averaged more points per game than him 2 seasons ago were Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum. That is some high company to be alongside with. That's higher than a big man in John Collins, who was taken by the Atlanta Hawks in the last year's draft.
Yeah, and John Collins is great.
He's great. So Josh Okogie being better points per game wise than that, he had 1,000 points in his first 2 seasons, which is a feat that not many college players can boast about. He shot a career 44% from the field. He's not the greatest shooter from the 3-point line, but he can drive, he can dribble. but he can fill in at point guard as long as being a shooting guard. And he averages 2.5 assists last season, and the only players that averaged more points per game than him last season was Marvin Bagley and Tyus Battle. And I think Tyus Battle is going to be another star in the pros. But I think the Timberwolves are getting a steal here. He's going to be going into a good team with Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Derrick Rose if he can finally get past this knee injury. And if they re-sign restricted free agent Marcus Georges-Hunt, who's been averaging like 25 points per game in the GBA, and has been dropping 30 points consistently, and dropped the 20-point game in the NBA with limited minutes. He's been productive in the time he came in. And if Josh Okogie is that much better than him, then I can only see him earning a starting spot this season. And I can see why they reached and took him in the first round, because he was projected to go in the second round, and they took him in the first round, 20th overall. I think the Hawks missed out on taking him. Hometown player. They picked him. They should have picked him at 19, and he fell to 20, and they missed him.
See, I don't like the idea of him starting this season, because even if Jimmy Butler leaves, this is a guy I forgot to mention. There's Andrew Wiggins, former Rookie of the Year, guy out of Kansas. People said he was going to be the next LeBron James, but we all know he's not going to be as good as LeBron James. But he's a great player already, and he's only going to get better because he's so young. I don't see Josh Okogie starting this season, and I only see him starting later on in his career when the Timberwolves are in rebuild mode and they don't have stars like Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Towns. That's why Okogie is not in the right place to start off a young career in the NBA. You see guys like Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges go to teams like Charlotte and Phoenix where they can work for a starting spot. But Okogie can't do that when you have guys like Andrew Wiggins, who you have to be loyal to, Jimmy Butler, who you also have to be loyal to, considering he wants to leave and can't play with Karl Anthony Towns. So it's not a good fit for Okogie.
I mean, opinion's opinion, but I think his game's got to do the talk. Make sure to watch the whole episode 4 of the Triple Threat podcast on your screen right now. Make sure to subscribe and let me know your questions in the comments below. Signing off from Atlanta, Georgia, William Zell.